Welcome back and hello if you're new. So this week I'm going to be looking at one of the biggest comeback albums in black metal, period. However, before I go into this week's review, I was incredibly lucky to be able to sit down with Demonaz and Horgh to talk all about their brand new album. Welcome the return of the real Northern Chaos Gods. One of the most powerful forces in the lauded black metal genre, Immortal's legacy speaks for itself. Following their return from hiatus in 2007, the band began to forge a new path with their brand new album, All Shall Fall. However, things did somewhat get derailed after the release of the album, where Abath had left the band. But Immortal was never quite done.
To me, the band was never done, even in 2003. I always thought, well, we have some problems, there's complications, let's try to solve it, but it will take a bit of time. It's like I couldn't accept it in a way, and I think it's the same for us, you know. We want to carry on, we never gave up.
With this fierce sense of resolve, Demonaz and Horgh set about writing the follow-up to All Shall Fall. And earlier this year, announced that their brand new album, Northern Chaos Gods, would be finally seeing the light of day this year. The record itself is a no frills, no bullshit, back to basics, guitar, drums, bass, vocals approach. But when the band was set to go into the studio to record this album with longtime producer Peter Tägtgren, how did they know what direction to go in?
The direction came on itself in a way, because we didn't make a plan for this album. We worked the same way as always, you know, bring the riffs to the rehearsal room, have ideas with drums and starts to build up, you know.
Okay.
And after that first song, it opened up for the rest, you know. And then when you have done like 4 or 5 songs, you see the rest of the album, you get a vision, picture it, what is missing, you know, what do we need more here?
Okay.
And you just try to fill in, so bring a bit of variety too, you know.
Personally, I found that Northern Chaos Gods reminded me a hell of a lot of At the Heart of Winter and Sons of Northern Darkness, 2 of my absolutely favourite black metal albums ever. There are so many sections where the band have that quintessential mid-paced Immortal sound. For example, the main verse on Where Mountains Rise. Potentially the most melodic track on the album, it's got a genuine sense of that epic feel to it. Another prime example is Grim and Dark's main verse section, where the band maintain this impenetrable sound but have that sort of element of groove that is so quintessentially Immortal, making use of those almost trademark Immortal style cleans before bringing it right back in with a riff that really punches through.
We didn't have a plan to sound like At the Heart of Winter or Sons of Northern Darkness or anything. It's like, it's Immortal, you know, it's like, it comes from inside, you know. It's a gut feeling.
Personally, I feel that there's even more of a focus on the guitar and drums on the record. The second track, for example, Into Battle Ride, bursts open out of the gates with these furious blasts and keeps going until the song's chorus section, where both the guitars and the drums coalesce to form this massive sound, creating this real sense of power. Not to mention Blacker of Worlds later on in the album also does a similar thing with those furious blasts. Overall, the sense of pace is kept going with the likes of Called to Ice, having a real sense of urgency to it, despite not being quite as ferocious as the title track Northern Chaos Gods. Yet in both Into Battle We Ride and Blacker of Worlds, there's this real sense of tension there, which is somewhat a jewel in the Immortal crown, you could argue.
It doesn't work in the same way as we did before, when Abath was still in the band. It's the same process, the same thing, same way we do it. Like, we come to the rehearsal room, he brings the riffs in, and we work together, putting the songs together.
And you develop kind of style of riffing or kind of style of guitar playing, you know, and within this universe, you know, you have some different options to choose from in a break, or if you want to build an atmosphere from the clean sound of guitars to get a highlight, you know, or to get deeper into the blush-up mood, you know. It's like, it's not easy, you know, but sometimes for the Blushing Mighty Red and Dark song, the Mighty Red and Dark song, it's like an epic song for nearly 10 minutes, you know. And but it wasn't the hardest one to write because the flow was there, you know.
Okay. And if there is one thing that Northern Chaos Gods does absolutely exceptionally well, it is flow. The dynamics that are put together on the likes of Gate to Blashirk are so seamless that you almost get transported. It moves you from the beginning of the song into the midsection of the track where those classic cleans come in before its rapture-inducing final section of the song. It's those small subtle changes where, you know, the addition of a cymbal hit or taking away of cymbals really creates that real sense of atmosphere that Immortal have thrived on after all these years. Particularly though, as Demonaz mentioned in the album closer, the just shy of 10 minutes Mighty Ravendark, it doesn't feel like you're clock watching. Instead, because of this really simplistic writing process, you really let yourself be taken with the song. And there's nothing really that you think, oh, maybe it's a bit extra and they're just playing for time. Instead, every single second of the track is used as much as possible.
We just want to make the 110% Immortal package, you know, for the listener to get. The deeper they can get into it, the better for us, you know. So that is why we wanted to use the time to do this properly and to be 110% satisfied with it, you know. And I hope the fans will stick with us, you know.
Though personally, for me, what's always made me fall in love with Immortal has been that classic midsection groove. For example, in Grim and Dark, where the drums drop out temporarily, leaving the guitar riff to kind of carry the tension before, boom, coming back in straight away and bringing that sense of energy back into it. Or for example, the epic mountain marches of Where Mountains Rise. And it's got this real sense of the triumph, yet it doesn't sound like it's trying to copy Sons of Northern Darkness or At the Heart of Winter or anything like that. If you're not familiar with the band, lyrically they've always used this realm of Blashirk, a fictional place that's based on Immortal's homeland, which is Norway. And it's where they kind of inhabit this frostbitten kingdom. But it did get me thinking, perhaps Blashirk was a sense of kind of escapism for the band.
In a way. But it's like, from the very beginning, when I started to write about it, I wanted to have unique lyrics and base it on our own team, you know. So it's the elements, you know, where we come from, you know, the snow, the winter, all these kind of things that inspires you. You walk to the mountains, you know, the stillness, that's the most inspiring, you know. It's like when you're away from everything, no houses, no people, no disturbance, you know. Then the music comes easier, and it's easier to think and feel one and feel the power. I play music because it makes me powerful, you know? Mm-hmm. It's the power that drives me. And
also another thing I wanted to find out was, how did the album's title track come into being?
I stole it from one of my own lyrics. From the Sons of Northern Darkness album. There is a line, Northern Chaos Gods, right? And we had this title very early. It was the first lyric that I wrote for the album. And it's inspired me to write the rest of the album in a way. It was like, the perfect opening track would be if you could serve a meal with a touch of everything that would come on the album, you know what I mean?
And Christ, is he right. From the second that you hear that opening track, it's a perfect encapsulation of what is to come on Northern Chaos Gods. From those furious blasts, you can hear that Demonaz's vocals are even better than they've ever been, with that massive howl as the song begins. And with the abrasive punch of the guitar and the drums, it almost makes you feel like you're stuck in this kind of black metal blizzard. And then you're seamlessly moved into one of those huge epic riffs that we all love midway through the track. And it's those subtle but very important cymbal hits, which I mentioned earlier on, which really give the song a sense of body and character to it. Not forgetting the absolutely incredible guitar solo, which is just the one of many that you can hear later on the album. But a lot of this mammoth atmosphere that Immortal have always embodied is partly to do with Peter Tägtgren's absolutely sensational production.
It was, he didn't have so much input on the album, songwriting wise. Okay. We didn't have it because we made the whole record before pre-production, before we went in the studio.
Oh wow, okay.
So I went in there playing the drums, recorded the drums in early January 2017, and after that Peter offered to play the bass on the album, and that was an easy choice for us because he knows exactly what we want.
I really couldn't find any negatives with this album because everything has been so painstakingly thought through. The only thing really I might be able to devise is that if you're kind of a bit more of a fair weather fan, you may find this a bit of a struggle just because it's so intense. In terms of the artwork, I thought it may have something to do with the whole idea of the underground, and it seems that I was actually right, that they were after this kind of tape trading aesthetic.
We wanted it to look like it was older, you know, in a way, not modern, and we had those ideas. Brought it to this artist in Norway, and she came up with sketches and some drawings, and it was it, you know. That was it. We wanted it easy, like the album is also. It starts right into the blushy ground, you know. It's bang bang bang. So yeah, it was no hocus pocus.
Immortal's Northern Chaos Gods is a defiant statement that remains steadfast to those anchored roots that they've always had. Immortal's Northern Chaos Gods is what the fans have been waiting for. It's the long-awaited return of the true Immortal sound.
All those bands from the start, you know, they disappeared in different directions. And after many years, it seems like many of those bands went far from the roots, you know. They explored new territories or brought in new elements to the music. We didn't do that. It's like we just tried to make a better album than the one before, but not without all those effects, without all those synthesizers or keyboards or big choirs or anything, you know. It's guitar, bass, drums, vocals. You know, we didn't change. I think time changed, but we stuck them losses, you know.
I couldn't agree more. This is an absolutely sensational album that black metal fans all over the world will enjoy, and it's a 5 out of 5 for me. So Immortal's brand new album, Northern Chaos Gods, is set for a July 6th release via Nuclear Blast, and you can pick up a brand new copy right underneath me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the interview and the review format. Let me know what you think, drop a comment. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will be seeing you guys next week for another album review. Alright, thank you so much for tuning in. See you later.